You see me here, a 91-year-old woman who spent her whole life taking care of others. But let's be honest, no sugarcoating. Are you doing the same fatal mistake I did? Are you building an oxygen bubble around your kids because you're afraid the air outside is too cold? At 90, I realized that my greatest cruelty was what I called extreme kindness. I was raising sheep in an age of wolves. I thought if I removed every stone from my son's path, he'd become a hero. But the truth is, I made him defenseless. Are you shielding your child from every bit of tension right now? Afraid they'll hear no? Afraid they'll have an argument at school? Remember, the world outside is a slaughterhouse for a child who has never tasted no, never tripped, and never failed. I raised my son in cotton wool, and the moment he stepped into society, the first breeze crushed him, because I never taught him how to stand in a storm. Many of you have things in your heart you don't say because you're afraid to ruin the image of the perfect parent. But the truth is, with this fake protection, you are clipping their wings and expecting them to fly in a ruthless sky. My logical mistake was thinking that if Michael never fell, he'd never get hurt. But never falling means never learning how to get back up. When I look at young parents today, I tremble. Small wounds in childhood are the vaccines for great pains in adulthood. I wish I knew sooner that my job wasn't to build a safe world for them. It was to build a safe human for this unsafe world. Let's be real. Every night when the kids come home, is your first question about grades and lessons? But did you ever even once ask, "How was your heart today?" I was just like you. I thought if my kids were top of their class, I was a successful mother. We feed them our own toxic perfectionism, the same dreams we never reached, and we call it looking out for their future. I built a golden prison for them with bars made of "you must be the best." Sarah learned that if she wasn't perfect, she didn't have my love. The language of our home was the language of if and but. If they came first, I smiled. If they came second, they felt my cold silence. This is what was in my heart that I never dared to say. I wanted you for what you did, not for who you were. And that is a mother's most painful confession. Are you making the same deal with your kids? Are you teaching them that they only have value when they are something or have a rank? This constant pressure robbed them of hearing their own inner voice. They grew up, but they live every day feeling like they are not enough. With every conditional praise, I broke a piece of their real self-confidence. Don't let your children grow old, longing for a simple, "I love you just the way you are, with all your flaws." Unconditional love is the only thing children truly need to survive in this wolf-like world. Let's be honest with each other, even right now as you're watching this video. Is your child calling you from the other room and you're saying, "Wait a second, I'm busy"? I didn't have a cell phone, but I had plenty of excuses, a long list of things that always seemed more important than playing with my kids: a clean house, career progress, the neighbor's judgment. I was always the present absentee. My body was in the kitchen, but my mind was on tomorrow's to-do list. I watched the clock and thought about lost time while I was burying the present moment right before my eyes. I told my kids later, thinking that later would always be there. But time is the most ruthless teacher. Logic tells us to work for the future, but emotion says the future is this very moment when your child asks you to draw a picture with them. We think parenting is about providing the best clothes and the most expensive language classes, but kids want presents, not services. Are you sacrificing the pure moments of their childhood for a few extra dollars or a sparkling house? I set the clock for other people's lives, and I woke up when my house was silent and my children no longer needed my presence. My regret isn't that my house wasn't always clean. My regret is why I didn't store the scent of my children's skin when they were little in my memory instead of a grocery list. Life is what happens while you are busy planning for your children's future. It slips through your fingers and goes away. We all have things in our hearts that we either didn't know how to say or were afraid of being judged for. In my home, feelings were like uninvited guests that had to be kicked out as soon as possible. I was taught to be logical, which meant suffocating my emotions. I gave the same poison to my children. Showing sadness meant being weak, and showing fear meant being incompetent. What was the result? We ate together in one house, but our souls were miles apart. We lived in absolute loneliness because we didn't know the language of the heart. When Sarah cried, I looked for a logical solution instead of a hug. I never told Michael how much I feared growing old, and he never told me how much he terrified of disappointing me. Silence is the killer of relationships. Do you think you're a hero if you don't cry in front of your kids or don't talk about your fears? No, you're just a robot. If you don't talk to your child today about your fears, your mistakes, and your endless love, you're teaching them that they must bury their pains too. And buried words eventually turn into a mountain of loneliness that no scream can cross. Let them hear the tremble in your voice. Let them know that you are also a human being who is learning, not a flawless, heartless machine. The greatest lesson I learned at the end of this 91-year journey is this: parenting is about being human, not perfect. My whole life I tried to be an idol, a wise being who never makes a mistake and always has all the answers. And this very idol created a distance between me and my children. Children are afraid of idols and stay silent before them, but they love humans and take refuge in them. Dear parents, are you blaming yourself right now for every shout or every little mistake? Stop it. This guilt makes you bitter, distant, and cold. The beauty of life is in the imperfection. It's in the vulnerability, in the truth, and in making mistakes and getting back up. I didn't teach my kids that it was okay not to be perfect because I didn't know how to do that myself. They always ran after a perfection that didn't exist, and that search made them tired and unhappy. If I could go back today, instead of a neat house and kids who were like straight-A robots, I'd build a messy house full of loud laughter and honest talks. I'd let my house be dirty, but let the sound of our joy deafen the neighbors. My message to you is clear: forgive. First yourself for all the mistakes you made, and then your children for all the flaws they have. Show them that making a mistake isn't a catastrophe. It's a part of the dance of life. A perfect mother never existed, but a real mother is what children keep in their hearts forever. My dears, I didn't say these things to blame you. I said them because you still have something I no longer have: time. You still have the chance to break those fences and pour out those buried words. I want to ask a favor of you. Right now, close your eyes for a moment. What is that word you've buried in your heart for years and haven't told your child? What is that big regret that doesn't let you sleep peacefully at night? Come here, under this video, let's build a safe and honest space. Write to me. What is the greatest regret or lesson you've learned on the path of being a mother or a father? Don't be afraid of others knowing you're not perfect. I read all your comments carefully. Let's talk to each other before you end up like me, alone with the echoes of silence and clean walls. Remember, life is what happens while you are busy making plans. Wake up right now while still you can.